Welcome to episode 3 of As You Wish Publishing Podcast. And we are continuing our conversations about the 4 pillars of personal publishing and getting your books out into the world and talking about the ways in which to do that. So Todd is with me again today, and let's talk about the next pillar.
Thank you, Kyra. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're talking about the next major pillar in publishing. In the previous episodes, we did an intro covering kind of skimming the surface. And then the second one, we talked about traditional publishing. Today, we're talking about hybrid publishing.
Oh, how exciting.
Hybrid can get pretty icky or messy, or just a lot of, just to say it neutrally, a lot of gray area.
Yeah.
So if you're pursuing any kind of hybrid, be extra careful.
Yes.
There's a lot of the horror stories that you've heard probably have come from hybrid publishers.
Yeah.
There are good ones.
Yes.
There are not so good ones. So fair warning, if you're going down that road, be extra careful, because they kind of design the rules the way they want to, which is very much in their favor. It is not author first publishing. Neither is traditional, frankly, but hybrid is a bit more of like, we kind of want to look like traditional publishers, but we want all the benefits of just doing it the way we want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I recently heard a hybrid publisher. Well, yeah, we're connected with Simon & Schuster. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not Simon & Schuster and you're not these things. But so the way they word things makes you think, oh, they're bigger, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's the same.
What if I told you I'm connected with somebody that you know of, like, I don't know, Al Pacino?
Right.
What if I say I'm connected with Al Pacino? Oh, really? Wow, cool. What does that mean? Exactly. Are you friends? Is he in your Facebook friends list? Or do you guys talk every week? You would think, wow, status. And then you would think, but how close are you?
In what way?
Is this a parasocial friendship where you just follow his blog?
Right.
Or what?
I watched a movie of his once.
I watched a movie of his once. I watched Serpico.
Yeah. So clearly we're best friends.
Yeah. And I just always felt close to him. So, yeah. So I'm in connection with him.
Right. That reminds me of when I was talking to your dad, who's built houses, all your life in Utah. And I said, and I had put a platform in the back of my pickup truck. And basically, so I said, I put 2 pieces of wood together with a screw. And so basically I'm a carpenter. Yeah. And he gave me his little, giggle, which is I was like, that's great. Yeah. I love to make him giggle.
Yeah. Yeah. Making my dad laugh is fun.
Yeah.
So we have a lot to say about hybrid. There are good ones out there. There are also not good ones out there. Chances are the negative publishing stories you've heard from anybody about anything likely had to do with hybrid publishing models. So beware, read everything before you sign on with somebody who's got a name that you like, but you don't know what model they actually are structured under. And it's probably going to be hybrid in a lot of those cases.
That's right. Yeah.
So be careful. That's all I'm saying. And if you have any questions, we haven't said this yet, go to the Ally Watchdog site.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'll put that link in the show notes.
Alliance of Independent Authors.org, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm. Or self-publishing. I think it's selfpublishingadvice.org.
Selfpublishingadvice.org, same thing. Mm-hmm. And you can see a list of publishers that have been vetted as either ones to avoid, or ones that are legit and recommended, things like that. Yeah. It's not just pay to play, like you're getting some other affiliation where it's a trust symbol that you pay for and you're not even vetted. This ain't that. You do get vetted as a publisher, and you do have to pay to play to get vetted. And we got vetted as You Wish Publishing we are legit.
We are excellent status, green lights
We are
across
green,
the board.
excellent status as a great publisher to work with.
Yeah.
There are lots of great publishers to work with under there. And there's lots that they say, avoid these at all costs.
Right.
Because XYZ.
Right. And they also say, be cautious. There's some just be cautious about.
Yeah, it's not black or white.
Yeah. And then some that are just, please don't do this to yourself.
Yeah. 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 It's right. Recommended, excellent, recommended, caution, avoid, things like that. There's a gray scale to it. It's not just all or none.
Right. Yeah. Which is, I think, good. And always do your research. Look at the reviews, look at the Google reviews. Publishers, hybrid publishers may not have a whole lot of those out there. There just might not be necessary, because if they are affiliated, right, loosely, I use that term loosely, with companies, what happens is if a traditional publisher doesn't want to publish a book, they might send that author to that hybrid press and say, go to this hybrid publisher because they're a subsidiary of ours, or they're a affiliate of ours. Yeah. And then that hybrid publisher will give a kickback or whatever to that traditional publisher. So that way the traditional publisher is still making money, and the subsidiary, the hybrid publisher, is now got this author and going to do their books because they think that this affiliation actually means something, which it may not.
That is exactly correct. And I have seen that happen.
Yep.
I have literally looked at the offerings and the contracts of names, one or two in particular, that I thought were reputable, and they are not.
Yep.
So, and we're not going to bash names. We're not going to mention names. Because
everybody's disappointed right now because we said we're not going to bash.
No. We're telling you the structure. We're telling you, we're warning you or giving you caution so that you don't walk into this stuff blindly. Right. We're not saying they're bad, we're good. We're just saying, do it with caution. Know the trade-offs. Know what you're getting into, and by all means, read everything.
Yeah.
Don't go into anything thinking you're being selected and therefore everything is going to be good.
Yeah.
That is not how life works.
No.
Especially with publishing. The less than reputable ones know that you want to feel selected. And some of them who are on that watchdog list in a negative sense, take advantage of that.
It's so
That's
terrible.
why there's so much trash, so many trash publishers.
It's why there's a reason why there's a watchdog list.
That's why there's a watchdog list. And if you want details, go to that website and just look for yourself, because they've all been vetted. If I were to give you anything, it would just be based on my limited experience, what I've seen for myself, which is I haven't vetted all these people. I just know a couple of instances. Whereas if you go to that website, everything has been vetted. So that's how you know. That's how you get to do your due diligence if you feel so drawn to do.
You got it.
Hybrid publishing. All right, we're 8 minutes in.
Okay, perfect.
This may be a two-parter.
Nah, no? We'll move through the power and all those things. Yeah. Okay,
so with hybrid,
we've really already given a way overview of all of it, so I think we're good.
Yeah. So the author contributes financially to production while the publishing company retains some level of brand positioning, process authority, or distribution management. So you might say that hybrid is a lesser version of, it has some components of traditional publishing and some components of self-publishing in it, and just a sprinkle of I don't know what. So be prepared for the I don't know what, because hybrids like to take some of the traditional stuff. They like to take some of what looks like the self-publishing stuff, and they kind of mix it all together into like a goulash.
Yeah.
And then they say, how does this taste? What do you think? And that could be a wonderful thing. It could be a wonderful thing. Like I would say the more reputable ones take maybe the best of the traditional stuff, if they can lean on that at all.
Right.
And they maybe take the best of some of the DIY or the self-publishing type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to do a legit hybrid publishing, not that I would, that's maybe what it would look like. And people would be like, damn, that is a great publishing model. And I'm
Right.
sure there are good guys on the Ally Watchdog hybrid list that maybe do that. And they're probably highly reputable for having done it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you hear some tapping around the apartment here, it's the dog. And he's also drinking out of his water bowl. So
Yeah.
thank you, Mascot Jack, for hanging out with us while we talk about hybrid publishing.
So hybrid, it's used broadly in the market and structures very significantly from one company to another.
Right.
And I'm just going to skim over the categories.
Okay.
For power, decision authority typically remains with the company, even though the author is funding production. Now that might be the linchpin that makes you decide whether or not you want to even pursue hybrid, because the author is funding the production while the decision authority is with the publisher. So you're getting, in a sense, you're getting like the worst of both worlds, not the best of both worlds, but they're all different. Like I said, there's lots of different kinds. Just make sure you read the contracts, and make sure you know what kind of publisher you're actually dealing with. They don't advertise what type they are, because they're probably selling on benefits or different things like that, or the dream or whatever.
Right. Or a division of, which is also very strange.
A subsidiary.
Yeah, subsidiary. It's a division of this name. And it's like, well, I've heard that name before. Mm-hmm. And so that means the same thing. It doesn't.
No, you cannot go on the name alone. You have to go on the contract with anyone, anywhere, at any time, under any industry.
That's got it.
The company may control design direction, pricing, distribution channels, and publication timelines, depending on the contract terms. Some hybrids position themselves as collaborative, while others have final decision-making authority residing with the company. So just be conscientious there. In some cases, hybrid imprints operate as subsidiaries, like Kyra was saying, or affiliated brands of larger traditional publishers. You'll see that a lot. So you'll see like recognizable names that you know of that are probably hybrids and subsidiaries. In others, they're going to be fully independent companies using the hybrid label to describe an author-funded structure. That's a little bit better, in my opinion. Public-facing descriptions do not always make these distinctions explicit, so that operational authority is usually going to be defined in the contract itself. That's the fine print. So I've written a blog post about that before. Read the fine print regardless of what you see.
I think we've told them to read their contracts. It's so important.
Yeah.
Because
I guess I keep going back to that.
Yeah, because it's people don't read.
It trumps. Yeah, it's a little ironic in this industry that people would write and not read things. Right.
And they're so surprised. And so our efforts here right now are for you to not be surprised that right. you are the best questions you could be asking to whatever company you go to, whether it's something like done for you, whether it's hybrid, whether it's traditional, is that you are crystal clear, and do not be afraid to ask those questions. Ask every single point that we've made right here today. Ask that question of whoever it is that you're going to.
Right. Precisely. So we've got, let's see, under risk. Is that where we left off?
Did we do power already?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We did power. We did risk. Control. I think we're at control. Wait a minute. So for risk, financial risk and hybrid publishing shifts primarily to the author. The author funds production through a package fee or a structured payment agreement. That investment might include editing, design, formatting, and in some cases, marketing services. Because the author is funding production, the publisher's financial exposure is limited compared to traditional models. And as a result, that acceptance threshold may differ from traditional acquisitions processes. Some hybrid publishers also expect authors to bring an existing platform or an audience as part of the viability equation, which is very, very common. Some of those hybrids will only select authors who have a sizable following, not based on the book, but based on how much your social media.
And the reason for that is in all of these models that we're going to talk about, None of them is the publisher required to sell your book for you.
Right.
So a hybrid publisher is going to want you to bring the platform with you. They'll publish your book more than likely anyway.
Right.
But they want your platform so they can sell your book because they're going to get a cut of those royalties.
Precisely. Yeah. And then 15 minutes. So we have control, upside, and timeline. So we could hammer those out, or we can say,
let's go ahead.
Hammer them out.
Yeah.
Okay. So for control and a hybrid publishing, it's going to vary by company. Some hybrids offer more collaborative input than traditional publishers, while others are going to retain a lot more control over production and distribution decisions, regardless of author funding. So look out for that. Just because you pay doesn't mean you get to decide things with a hybrid publisher. Very important distinction there from professional self-publishing, for example, or DIY publishing, where you get to make all of the decisions when you're investing. Bulk copy purchase requirements, distribution pathways, pricing authority, often defined contractually beforehand. It's something, a lot of these things authors don't think about until they reach that stage of production because it involves their book, their baby. But you need to be willing to learn about these things before you invest money so that you know how it's going to play out by the time you get there, as opposed to only being prompted by the time you're ready to think about it and then finding out you signed something that says otherwise other than what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Good point. So in some cases, authors are going to purchase large quantities of books. That is one of the first things I learned about some hybrid companies years ago, is that some of them make authors pay large quantities of books as part of that publishing agreement.
Yeah. It's not a print cost. It's the print cost plus, which would be plus shipping, which is normal.
Yeah.
But plus is whatever type of money they want to tack on to each copy.
Right.
And they get to choose that.
Right.
And it's not going to be half the price of your retail cost.
No.
It's going to be...
It's not a discount deal that you're getting.
Yeah,
it's them driving up the package cost in a way that they can justify it.
Right.
So
they might say, oh, you don't have to pay for publishing at all. We're going to publish it for you, but you're going to have to buy 2,500 copies at $15 a copy. That's how they get you.
Yes, absolutely. It is. Absolutely. In others, distributions managed through standard print-on-demand wholesale networks, similar to those used by independent authors. I have literally seen it myself where a brand that some authors like is a hybrid, a subsidiary of a traditional publisher, and they use a DIY. They publish to Amazon KDP, which is a self-publishing platform for DIYers or self-publishing houses, and not through their own system or their own framework. And they have the author use their dashboard, not the author-owned dashboard or author-owned account. So it's
completely gate kept.
It's what we call double dipping. Where we're trying to make ourselves look like a traditional, but we're actually not. And we're trying to make ourselves look like
it's status. Yeah, it's more perceived value, perceived status.
But we're tying ourselves to your book, or like they'll even try to call themselves self-publishing, but they make you log into their stuff and not through your own account.
Right.
Which is not self-publishing. Yeah. They're forever affiliated with your book.
Yeah, they pay you the royalties they think you should get.
Which is going to be defined in the contract, especially if you're going through their framework to log in somewhere.
Right. And they're going to pay you or they're going to charge you whatever they want for your wholesale copies.
Correct.
Yeah.
So look out.
And Todd published his first book with a hybrid publisher. So we want to we're not talking about this like from a position of we don't know. We've taken back and reclaimed books from hybrid publishers before to bring the power back to the author.
Right.
So this is not stuff we don't know firsthand.
Yeah, and we've done our own research. And if anything, if you don't find the exact same information from both good hybrids and not so good hybrids on the Ally Watchdog site, you'd let me know.
Yeah,
because this is
absolutely.
not meant to be a biased thing. It's just easy to speak to the pros and cons because they're very, very self-evident if you're willing to look for them.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay. So because structures differ widely, the degree of author control is not consistent across the hybrid category, to say
Right.
the least.
Yeah.
Contract terms determine where authority ultimately sits, and that's highly, highly unknowable given hybrid to hybrid publisher. If you really want to be in the know and you don't want to be taken advantage of accidentally and you're not sure, please go to the Ally Watchdog site and research any publisher you're looking into. Okay, that's the main thing. All right, we're at 20 minutes. We got upside and timeline.
All right, let's just run through it really quick.
Okay, really quick. Financial upside in hybrid publishing is typically structured through royalty agreements rather than full margin participation. Although the author funds production, revenue is often split according to contract terms. Publisher may retain a percentage of sales revenue. So it is absolutely a split, just like a traditional publisher. It is not self-publishing to where you get 100%. So make sure you know that. If you're going with a hybrid, you're not going to be getting 100% of your royalties. They're going to be taking a cut, probably in all cases. I haven't seen it not be that way. If you find one that's not that way, fantastic. And let me know what the other trade-offs are if they're positioning themselves that way.
Yeah.
And then in most hybrid structures, I already said this, distribution accounts are established and controlled by the publishing company rather than the author. Revenue flows through the publisher is how that works, and then paid to you secondarily. Again, that's royalties going through the publisher. And
the middleman. Yeah.
And then a middleman, right? And then direct author ownership of retailer wholesale distribution accounts is less common. And then finally, timeline. Hybrid publishing timelines generally shorter than traditional.
Yes.
I think Kyra says yes. Production may move forward within several months once agreements are signed and materials submitted. However, timelines depend on internal production capacity, editorial scope, and specific services included in the agreement. And that is hybrid publishing at the 30,000 foot view.
Yeah.
It's as much detail, valuable author first detailed information that we can provide without getting too much into the weeds.
Right.
And please prove me wrong on any of this if you want to. Go to the Watchdog site, go to any of them, read through the stuff. If you find any new information, you don't need to tell me.
You put it in the comments.
But we can
definitely take a look at
you can do that, sure. Report it to Ally, and let them know if you see some hybrid doing something really right and reputable. Probably they're already a member on Ally.
Yeah.
Or if you see one that's not on Ally doing something that's a little shady, report it to them. That way they can take note of it, and then all future authors are protected who have the wherewithal to check on Ally Watchdog first.
Right. And Ally isn't going to just take your word for it. It'll go out and do its own vetting process. So, you don't have to feel like, oh, I'm telling a tale. They're going to do their own research. But yes, please let us know, because we don't mind being proven wrong if somebody's doing something right.
Absolutely. We're not here to judge them. We're just here to say, here's what we've seen personally, firsthand. Here's what we've experienced from other authors who have come from those publishers and then decided to work with us. We've had some horror stories we haven't even told you about.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the Ally Watchdog stuff, the whole point of this is to make informed choices and to know what you're getting into. And we don't want so many prospective authors out there just randomly condemning self-publishing or hybrids or whatever, or saying this is the way to go, not that. And they might not be as informed as they think they are.
And they may not have ever published their book.
And they may not have ever published a book. Yeah. Or they get into analysis paralysis. It's one thing to get upset and then do your own due diligence to and gather information and then make a choice. It's another thing just to commiserate with other people about stuff that you don't like.
Yeah.
So one is getting upset and then taking an appropriate action. The other one's just getting upset. So, don't be in victimhood about any of this.
Right.
Take it, agree, disagree, do your own due diligence, and then take a step. But at least you're not dumber than before, or excuse me, at least you're not more naive is the word.
Yeah.
At least you're not more naive after listening to something like this or pursuing these resources as you may have been beforehand.
Yeah. You might have gotten smarter. Just a
You
little
might
bit.
have gotten smarter.
Just a little bit smarter.
And we're an author first professional self-publishing house. So we want you to make smart decisions, whatever you choose, whether it's us or anything else. Just do it eyes wide open.
Agreed. Yeah. So that being said, that brings us to the close of our time here. As You Wish Publishing at asyouwishpublishing.com. Go out there and take a look at us. Vet us for yourself. See if we're the right fit for you, because if you're in the process of getting your book out there and you want a place that's reputable, that knows this industry and is wanting essentially to help you to bring your message, your voice, your expertise to the world, that's probably us. So asyouwishpublishing.com, and we will see you at the next podcast. Take care.